The search continues for the worst action figure line based on a movie. And this time, we're fighting aliens with a 3.5 floppy disk. Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you with a whole new video. Well, it's Tuesday, so what does that mean? Well, it means it's time to continue our search for the worst action figure based on a movie. In the previous videos, we have looked at such action figure lines as Dragonheart, Mission Impossible, and Dick Tracy. This time we're going back to 1996 to the biggest blockbuster of that year. But before we get started, as always, help support this channel. Become a Patreon supporter by clicking that link up there or in the description below, or head over to thatjunkman.com and buy some cool t-shirts. Now with that out of the way, let's go back to July 4th, 1996.
You wake up.
Hey, come on.
You greet your loved ones. You grab the morning paper. And although it seems like any ordinary day, it isn't. For one extraordinary reason.
In the summer of 1996, we, the human race, fought back from an attack from an alien race, once again fighting for our freedom, for our independence. The battlefield, the local theater, and your toy room. Independence Day, dubbed as ID4, was a huge blockbuster hit, even before it was released. It was the talk of the summer movie season. Released on July 3rd, the movie would become the biggest film of 1996, and at the time have the second best opening weekend ever behind Jurassic Park. The need for toys along with the film was hot, and toy companies all wanted a part of it. 20th Century Fox signed a deal with new toy company, Trademasters, who was a growing toy company thanks to their ability to mix toys with new technology, making toys able to move and talk. But how did the toys do? Was it the worst action figure line based on a film? Before we decide this is the worst action figure line ever based on a film, let's see how we rank these toys. First up, we're going to look at the look of the action figure. Does the action figure look like what we see in the movie? Do they dress the same? Does it look like the actors that the film's based on? Then I'm going to look at the play value. Are these figures worth playing with as a kid? Would kids enjoy playing with something like this, even if maybe they don't look like what they do in the movie? Then I'm going to rate the marketing. Did the toy company time it right? Did they release the action figures way too early to where the time the movie came out no one cared? Or did they release the action figures way too late where kids just moved on and didn't care either way? And then I'm going to rate packaging. To sell kids on action figures, you got to catch their eye, and packaging does that. Look at the vintage Star Wars action figure cards. Your eyes are going to connect with the package, and it's going to cause kids to pick up the action figure, look at it, and decide if they want it. And last, I'm going to rank the quality. Do these figures hold up? Sure, we can all buy an action figure and stand it up somewhere, and it will last for a couple years. But does it stand up to kids throwing them off dressers and against the wall? Also with these videos, we're looking at figures based on movies that are good. Or at least, at the time, kids liked them. So you're not going to see Battlefield Earth here. Also, we're looking at action figures with 4 or more action figures. There's some really bad ones out there that I looked at, but they only have 1 or maybe even 2 figures in the line. So I crossed them off the list. Can't really count them as an action figure line. But now that you know the rules and how to rank the figures, let's look at Trademasters' Independence Day action figure line.
Independence Day. We've got company, and they're getting ugly. Massive, nasty aliens. Bursting skulls reveal their secret power. Now they plan to pound Earth's heroes with awesome tentacle attack. Time for the big payback. Levinson jams the radar, and Whitmore delivers the final blow. ID4, get off our planet. ID4, Independence Day, each with computer mission disc. Collect them all.
And we start that off by looking at the look of the figure. Did they get the look right? Do they look like the characters from the film? Let's take a closer look. Like the Dragonheart action figure line, we had to look at 2 different things, and we have to do that here also. we have to take a look at the human figures and the alien figures. Let's look at the figures first. And these were bad, at least when you compare how they look to the characters in the film. Will Smith's character looks nothing like the figure. He's not even dressed the same. It's clear they didn't care about likeness rights from the actors, or maybe they didn't even ask. The figures look are big and muscular, and again, nothing like we saw in the film. The aliens are ugly, but they're kind of made to be ugly, and they look pretty close to the ones we see in the film. It's clear the company put their time, skill, and money into making the aliens over the humans. But we have to rank the look of these figures all together. We can't split it up between just the humans and the aliens. As I said, the aliens look really good compared to what we saw in the film. But what hurts the rating here is those ugly human figures. So on a 5-star scale, we're going to rank the look of the Independence Day action figures at a 3. Saved only by the aliens. Now that we got the look out of the way, let's look at the play value. What are these fun for kids to play with? Again, we're looking at toy lines, trying to look at them through a kid's eye, not a collector's eye. Which, as a toy collector myself, and I know many of you do this, we sometimes forget that the toys are aimed for kids. So let's look at how fun they would be for a kid, not a collector. This time we'll look at the aliens first. And they look great standing up, on display. But they are kind of hard to play with. They are big and have dreadlocks, or tentacles, whatever that is, all over the place, making it very hard for kids to hold and play with when fighting humans. Trying to hold 2 aliens at one time? Forget about it. If a kid was playing with them, it's a good chance he would just get upset and throw it down. As for the humans, they are at least more playable in the kids' hands. The figures are kind of big, but they are easy to hold and play with. Each action figure comes with a lot of accessories to battle the aliens with. They have guns, goggles, shields, harpoons, extra armor. They're really packed in a lot with these action figures. Sadly, the action figures only moved at the shoulders and the hip. The action figures also came with a video game on a 3.5 floppy disk. But for this video, we're not going to rank that game, although I'm pretty sure it's horrible. So, rating the play value of the Independence Day action figures, out of 5 stars, the line's going to get a 3. Saved here by the humans, or at least all the accessories that came with them. Now that we got the look and the value out of the way, let's look at marketing. As I've said in previous videos, this is the one the toy companies need to get right the most. You have to have figures not too early on the toy shelves and not hitting toy shelves too late where kids have moved on. This is an easy one to get a 5-star rating on, as most action figure lines should have at least a 4 or 5 in this. So let's take a look at Independence Day. The film was set for a summer release, and it was aimed to be the blockbuster of the summer. And Trademasters didn't hold back. Some movie studios might fear showing the aliens too much before the release of the film, but 20th Century Fox and Trademasters didn't let this hurt their line. The action figures and aliens hit about a month before the release of the film. This is great timing for a summer blockbuster release. So out of a 5-star ranking, the marketing of the figures get a 5. Another important thing for action figures is the packaging. You want kids to notice it in stores and beg their parents for it. So let's take a closer look at the packaging and see if it was eye-catching. The bluish metal color used for the logo in Alien looks great. However, a photo from the film might have helped some. But this isn't a big issue. The bubble on the card is big enough to showcase the action figure and all the many accessories. The figures also came with a 3.5 floppy disk, but I really can't see that being anything that would catch a kid's eye and make them want to buy the figure. Even as a collector myself back in 1996, I ended up deleting the files off this 3.5 floppy disk and using it for my own personal use. The back of the figure shows all the action figures you can get, and a good look at the aliens with details about each one. The cards are really well done. Now let's look at the package for the aliens. The cards are mostly the same as the figure, with the disc moved to the front of the bubble, being they had no accessories with the aliens. It's always good that a kid sees everything they get with their action figure, but I think here hiding the alien host inside the alien would have been a nice little surprise for kids. The commander alien is in a box with a motion detector to show off the automatic opening of the head and the sound. I remember these back at Toys R Us going off whenever people would walk down the aisle. It got very annoying to weekly shoppers at Toys R Us like myself, but I'm sure this really got the attention of kids and parents. The look of the card is pretty good, although it would have been nice to have some scenes from the movie. Maybe each action figure's character could have a little photo of who they played in the film, but then you might notice it looks nothing like the people in the movie. So out of 5 stars, how does the packaging get ranked? We're going to give this one a 4. Now the last category we're going to look at is the quality. Do these hold up with kids playing with them? Can you throw them around your room and upside your sister's head? Let's take a look. Well, the humans here mostly can handle hard play, but they will crack with a lot of throwing around. The aliens here are the main issue. Nothing major, but those dreadlock tentacle things, well, they would easily break off or even bend when kids playing with them. Even if you're just displaying your alien over time, those tentacle things will bend. So let's rank this out of the 5-star system. We're going to give the quality of the action figures a 4. So how did this toy line rank overall? Is this the worst action figure line based on a film? Well, if I was to rate just the action figures alone, it might be the worst or close to it. They look cheap and horrible and nothing like in the film. However, it's the aliens that save this line. Sure, they are kind of hard to play with as a kid, but they really look good and a lot of detail went into the work of the alien. The package is eye-catching, and being that kids could interact with the toys without having to buy it, it was a nice little plus. So overall, we're going to give the action figure line a 3 out of 5. And that's a look at the Independence Day action figure line. Is it bad? I wouldn't say it was bad, but I wouldn't say it was good either. This line kind of falls in the middle. Again, it's the aliens here that save this line. If you're a fan of this movie or a fan of the aliens design, you would love to have these in your collection. Even as an adult collector, they look good on display. I don't believe we can rank this one as the worst action figure line ever. Again, if we were just looking at the humans, maybe so. So our search continues for the worst action figure line based on a film. Maybe we've already looked at it, or maybe it's going to be the next one. I want to thank you for watching, and again, we'll be back next Tuesday as we continue our search and have videos throughout the week. Please subscribe to the channel and ring that bell so you'll know when we upload a new video. And comment in below. Let me know what you think about the Independence Day action figures. Did I rank them too high or too low? Thank you for watching. We'll be back very soon.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.